the invisible prison. You're not free. Not yet. You might think you are. You wake up, you make choices, you go where you want, you do what you please. But look closer. Look at the thoughts running through your mind right now. The worries, the doubts, the fears, the anxieties, the negative loops that play over and over like a broken record. Who's in control? Is it you? Or is it the voice in your head that tells you you're not enough? The one that replays your failures on repeat? The one that catastrophizes every challenge? The one that keeps you small, scared, and stuck? Here's the truth most people never face. You're not truly free until you take control of your mind. And right now, for most of you, your mind is controlling you. It's the puppet master, and you're the puppet. And until you flip that script, you'll never become who you're capable of being. The tyranny of the uncontrolled mind. Your mind is the most powerful tool you possess. It can solve complex problems, create beautiful art, build empires, heal relationships, and transform lives. But when it's out of control, when it's left to run wild without direction or discipline, it becomes your prison warden. It keeps you trapped in patterns you hate. It convinces you that you can't change. It tells you stories about who you are based on who you were. It projects past failures onto future possibilities. It turns molehills into mountains and possibilities into problems. It sabotages your dreams before you even take the first step. And the worst part? You believe it. You believe every fear it generates. You trust every doubt it produces. You accept every limitation it imposes. Why? Because you think those thoughts are you. You think that voice in your head is telling you the truth. You think those feelings are facts. But they're not. They're just noise, mental static, old programming running on autopilot. And until you recognize that, until you separate yourself from your thoughts and realize you have the power to choose which ones to believe, you'll remain a prisoner in your own mind. The moment of recognition. But right now, something is shifting. Right now, you're becoming aware. You're starting to see that you don't have to be controlled by your thoughts. You're beginning to understand that there's a difference between you and your mind. You are not your anxiety. You are not your depression. You are not your limiting beliefs. You are the consciousness that observes them, the awareness that notices them, the power that can change them. This is the first step. Recognition. Because you can't take control of something you don't even know is controlling you. Most people live their entire lives never realizing they're being run by unconscious patterns, childhood programming, past traumas, and societal conditioning. They just accept their mental state as fixed, as permanent, as just the way I am. But you're different. You're here. You're listening. You're ready. You're ready to stop being a passenger in your own life and become the driver. You're ready to take back the power you've been giving away to your thoughts for years, maybe decades. And let me tell you something. The moment you decide to take control of your mind is the moment everything changes. Not tomorrow, not eventually. Right now, in this instant. Because control isn't something you achieve. It's something you claim. It's a decision, a commitment, a line in the sand. The practice of mental sovereignty. So how do you do it? How do you take control? It starts with observation. You need to become a witness to your own thoughts. You need to create space between you and your mental chatter. When a thought appears, and trust me, thousands will appear today, you don't immediately believe it. You observe it. You examine it. You ask, is this thought true? Is it helpful? Is it moving me toward who I want to be or away from it? Most thoughts fail that test. Most thoughts are just recycled fears, borrowed beliefs, and unconscious reactions. They have no real power except the power you give them. So you stop giving them power. You see them for what they are, just thoughts, passing clouds in the sky of your consciousness. You don't have to grab onto every cloud. You can let them drift by. But here's where most people struggle. They think observing is enough. It's not. Observation creates awareness, but control requires action. You have to actively redirect your mind. When it spirals into negativity, you interrupt the spiral. When it dwells on the past, you bring it to the present. When it catastrophizes the future, you ground it in reality. When it tells you lies about your worth, you speak truth. This is mental discipline. This is taking control. It's not passive. It's not hoping your mind will magically fix itself. It's actively, consciously, deliberately directing your thoughts the way a director directs a film. You decide what gets focus. You decide what gets amplified. You decide what story your mind tells. The battle for your attention. And make no mistake, this is a battle. Your mind has been running on autopilot for years. It has established neural pathways, habitual patterns, default modes of thinking. And those patterns don't want to change. They're comfortable. They're familiar. Even if they're destroying you, they're what your brain knows. So when you start taking control, expect resistance. Your mind will throw everything at you. It will generate more anxiety to prove it's right. It will pull up evidence from your past to justify its negative predictions. It will try to convince you that this whole taking control thing is pointless, that you've tried before and failed, that you're just not the kind of person who can change. That's the moment. That's the moment when you prove who you are. That's when you don't negotiate. You don't debate. You don't engage with those thoughts. You simply refuse to let them run the show. You acknowledge them. I see you, fear. I see you, doubt. And then you choose a different thought, a more empowering one, a more truthful one. I am learning. I am growing. I am capable. I am in control. Not because it feels true yet, but because you're making it true. You're training your mind to think differently. You're establishing new patterns. You're taking control one thought at a time, one moment at a time, one decision at a time. The reclamation. And here's what happens when you persist. Here's what happens when you refuse to quit. When you stay committed to mental sovereignty, even when it's hard, even when you slip up, even when progress feels slow, your mind starts to work with you instead of against you. Those anxious thoughts that used to dominate your mornings, they lose their grip. That inner critic that used to tear you down, its voice gets quieter. Those limiting beliefs that convinced you that you couldn't, they crumble under the weight of your new patterns. Your mind becomes your ally, your partner, your most powerful asset. You start to think clearly, to see opportunities instead of obstacles, to feel confident instead of fearful, to take action instead of overthinking. Your decisions improve because they're coming from a place of clarity, not chaos. Your relationships improve because you're not projecting your internal turmoil onto others. Your performance improves because your mental energy isn't being drained by negative loops. This is what it means to take control of your mind. This is the freedom you've been searching for. Not freedom from challenges, those will always exist, but freedom from being controlled by your reaction to challenges. Freedom from being imprisoned by fear, paralyzed by doubt, limited by old stories. You become the master of your internal world. And when you master your internal world, your external world transforms. Because everything you experience is filtered through your mind. Change the filter. Change everything. The daily practice. But let me be brutally honest with you. This isn't a one-time thing. This isn't something you do once and you're fixed forever. Taking control of your mind is a daily practice. A moment-by-moment choice. A lifestyle, not an event. Every morning you set your mental tone for the day. You don't pick up your phone and let the world fill your mind with its agenda. You take 5 minutes, just 5, to consciously choose your thoughts, to set your intentions, to remind yourself who you are and who you're becoming. You prime your mind for success, not stress. Throughout the day, you check in. You notice when your thinking goes off track. And instead of spiraling, you course correct immediately. You don't let negative thoughts compound. You catch them early and redirect. This becomes second nature, automatic, effortless. At night, you review. You reflect on your mental state throughout the day. You celebrate the moments when you took control. You learn from the moments when you didn't. You forgive yourself for being human. And you commit again to tomorrow, to showing up, to staying in control. This is how masters are made. Not through perfection, through persistence, through showing up day after day, thought after thought, choice after choice. You're not trying to eliminate all negative thoughts. That's impossible. You're training yourself to not be controlled by them, to observe, to choose, to redirect. The declaration. So I'm asking you right now to make a declaration. Not to me, to yourself. Declare that from this moment forward, you are taking control of your mind, that you refuse to be a victim of your thoughts, that you will no longer give power to fear, doubt, or limitation, that you are the master of your mental domain. Your mind is yours, not your past's, not society's, not your traumas, yours, and you're taking it back. You're reclaiming your mental sovereignty. You're choosing freedom over fear, empowerment over victimhood, control over chaos. This is where your transformation begins. Not with changing your circumstances, not with waiting for life to get easier, but with taking control of the one thing that was always yours to control, your mind. The old version of you let thoughts run wild. The new version of you, the one being born right now, takes control, directs, chooses, masters. Take control of your mind and watch as you take control of your life. The power was always yours. Now use it.